Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this cute little baby bootie. So I decided to make these for my babies because all of her shoes just fall off and I needed something a little bit warmer for the winter. She can't walk yet, so this is kind of a perfect option. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and let's go ahead and get started. Now for these shoes, I did have to make my own pattern. So I used a previous pattern for the sole of the shoe to kind of give me about how big things should be. And then I went ahead and tried this many different times until I could kind of get it right. But I was really happy with the end result. I decided to use this old Minky blanket. And the reason I did that is, I don't know if you're like me, but I have like 5 or 6 baby blankets per child. And it's just a ton. So this one, it looks great on camera, but the white is actually a little bit faded out and it does look a little bit worn, so I decided to use this material. I went ahead and cut my pieces out, 2 for each, and just kind of lined them up how I wished. So I did a little bit of white and a little bit of blue. So I'll have a little white line on top, a blue sole, and the tongue of the shoe will be white. Now all the inside is that gray from the opposite side of the blanket. Now this is pretty easy. On the back piece you are just going to put right sides together. I like to think about it like PB&J, the peanut butter and jelly go on the inside. Everything good goes on the inside. So I'm going to be switching the backing, the tongue piece, but I will not be doing anything to the sole. That is going to stay exactly as it is. Then I'm going to sew the top of this tongue piece, the smaller section, and then I'm going to be sewing the backing all the way down except for the small part on the bottom that will connect to the sole of the shoe. Now of course I need a way to close it, so I decided I'm going to use this elastic. And I've decided to make the band that's going to be showing out about 1 inch. So then I gave myself a little bit of extra tail and cut it there. So it was probably about 3 inches long and then, folding in half. And like I mentioned earlier, peanut butter and jelly, so everything good goes on the inside. So make sure that loop is facing inside with the extras kind of sticking out so you can see where that's going to line up. I want to make sure it's not right exactly on my corner because I don't want it to be awkward when I'm folding it right side out. And then I'll make sure to do the same to the other side. And then also all the way around. Now both pieces have been sewn, so I'm going to flip them right side out and just kind of work my way out with that one. So there's the tongue piece. And then the backing piece as well. I'm going to flip that right side out. Here you can see how the backing piece will work. It just goes over the heel and around the ankles. And of course on the opposite side I'll need to attach buttons to be able to secure it. It's always good before you finalize any sewing that you kind of test pieces out. I like to do this because I hate to admit it, but often I do make a mistake and it's better to catch it halfway through rather than when you're completely done and realize you have to redo everything. Alright, now with the bottom piece, this is going to not be the right sides together. We're not doing anything. So make sure that sole piece is exactly as you cut it out. And then make sure all the Minky fabrics, all the fabrics that you want on the outside, are all facing in. So I'm just doing it based off of the Minky blanket since I have different materials. So I'm going to make sure that that's lined up from the middle. And that one is going to get sewn down just the bottom heel, that section that didn't get sewn. And then with the tongue piece, it's going to be the front of that end. It should connect from point to point. It might even overlap just a little bit. And I'm just going to sew that straight down. Make sure you go nice and slow, and if you have any type of stretchy fabric, start from the middle and work your way out, and then do the opposite side. If you start from just one side and just kind of swing it around, it is not going to line up evenly if you have any type of stretch fabric. Now flipping it right side out, you can get a better look of how it's going to be. Now this shoe kind of seems big, but because the material is so thick, this really is only big enough for maybe a 3 to 4 month old child. It is not as big as it seems on camera. So now I'm just looking at it and everything seems to be fine. I did test this out on my baby to make sure that it did fit her feet before I went ahead and closed it off. All you have to do is secure on buttons, make sure that they're lined up nicely. It did take a little bit of work going through this fabric, and I just went all the way through because it's so fluffy you don't even see the stitching. If I had something a little bit tighter, then I would have done the buttons before I even closed off everything, so you wouldn't see any of the threads on the other side. So there it is, the little booty is all done. All you have to do when you make it again is do the exact same thing, except put the elastic on the opposite side as well as the buttons on the opposite side, so you can tell which shoe should be on which foot. This shoe has been awesome for my little girl. It does not come off her ankle no matter how much she kicks, which I love that I'm able to tighten it. If you had only done one elastic with the button, then you could flip over the edges and kind of create a different look. You could have made the tongue smaller to do a different style of booty. So there's lots of different things, and I really enjoyed being able to play with this, learning how to make my own pattern and just kind of having a little bit more fun. I think this is a great idea of things that you can do when you have extra material, or if you have extra baby blankets like I do. Just something more fun for you to experiment with. Leave a comment below on any of your projects that you've done, if you've done anything like this or any type of upcycling project. Have a great weekend, everyone.